I want to play a video for you of Tucker Carlson going after Greg Abbott for not completely shutting down the border. This is some bold stuff he says. Check this out.
How many Texans do you think are all on board with letting 7 million people cross into their state illegally? What percentage? Zero. Zero. I don't care what your race or national origin. Nobody is for that. That's insane. Has the governor of Texas done anything meaningful to stop that? No. The Republican governor? He's got a National Guard. He's the commander-in-chief of the National Guard, and it's Texas, so they're all large. And they have double-stack magazines in their sidearms. You think they couldn't stop that in a week if they? Of course. Just assemble along the border. We're not doing this. No, he refuses to do that. He won't do it. And it's not like no one suggested. I've suggested to him 3 times, including in private at a cocktail party in Dallas last year. What are you doing, man? Don't you have a National Guard? Why don't you seal the border? Oh, it's very complicated. No, it's not. No, it's not. If someone's trying to break into my house, it's not complicated to repel the person. Do you have a firearm or don't you? Are you willing to defend your house and your children, or aren't you? Well, it's more complicated. That really, tell me how. Speak slowly so I can understand. It's not more complicated than that. It's more dishonest than that. You're lying to me. You don't want to do it because your donors don't want you to do it. It's that simple. Greg Abbott. Liar. Liar. And worse than liar, betrayer of your own people. That's what that is. I was polite at the cocktail party, so I didn't say any of that, but I fumed internally like an Episcopalian. I thought those things. But the point is, if you assume that just because everybody wants something, you're going to get it, think again, pal. It's very likely that, in fact, you won't get anything that you want. You will just pay for what a small group of other people want. That's the way it works. Boo! Boo is right. Boo is right. It's not just frustrating, it's a betrayal of the core promise of the country, which is the people rule. That's a criminal act. That is a criminal act. Let's just put this in context. It's not just like you have boutique, weird right-wing views and that's how they want you to feel. Like, oh, you're an extremist. Really? I'm an extremist? I'm the one who let 7 million people into our country illegally, whose names we don't know?
That was Tucker slamming Greg Abbott for the border. And I'm going to give both sides here. Tucker Carlson is saying, you know what? You're the commander-in-chief of the state of Texas, the Texas National Guard. You can shut down the border if you want to. Just be bold, take bold action, say, we're not doing this anymore. Line up all your troops across the border and repel these people. Now, legally, he cannot deport people. He can't do that. I know some people want him to, but he can't. But then there is a side that says deal with the consequences later. Take bold action now. Stop this mess at the border and deal with the lawsuits from the Biden administration later on. And I totally get that. Now, it's like I said, I'm going to give both sides here. I see where Tucker's coming from. And a lot of people think this is a political stunt that Greg Abbott is doing with Operation Lone Star and the buoys and things like that. That's a political theater to show that, hey, well, I'm trying to do something about it, but he's not doing everything he can. With that being said, I am going to play some video for you of a border wall going up here in Texas. This is a nighttime view right here. The border wall being constructed. Abbott has talked about this many times actually. He's talked about a border wall being built here in Texas. I know there's a lot of stuff, legal stuff he has to go through to get this done. And it took a while, but it is happening, as you can see. And then there is more here. There's a daytime view, as you can see right there. Wall being constructed on the Del Rio sector of the border. Now, here is the Texas National Guard at the border with firearms, with the razor wire, standing there to try to repel people from, keep them from coming across the border. Now, this is something interesting here. A piece of land, an island that was being used by the cartels has now been taken over by the state of Texas, and we are able to secure that land and go after the cartels and divert them from that area. Check this out.
Operate in that area.
What I learned is that the Texas Land Commissioner, Don Buckingham, is now going to authorize Texas DPS to patrol an island called Fronten Island near the Roma area, heavy trafficked by cartels. You guys can now go there. Explain.
Right, Griff. So we've always been able to operate in that area with our Texas Rangers, our state troopers, working under the umbrella of course, essentially Border Patrol or BORTAC, work in those areas. And of course, we know most recently in the past couple months, we've been able to encounter criminals that are coming across the river unimpeded that have ties to Mexican drug cartels. We recovered weapons, ammunition. Most recently, Border Patrol recovered an improvised explosive device. So these are serious threats that are coming across our borders that pose a threat to public safety and national security. What's different now, though, is that we have the authorization through the General Land Office with the commitment and leadership of Commissioner Dr. Don Buckingham, who has been a strong advocate in protecting Texas border communities, also has been a strong advocate and committed to what we are doing with Operation Lone Star and giving us that authorization to take control of this island in Fronton, Texas, which is...
That's great news.
In the Rio Grande Valley. This is going to have a direct impact now on how those cartels operate because they rely on this island. They've been operating on this island for years. They have taken control of the island. That's why we see these armed gunmen that are coming across. They're bringing ammo. They're bringing special interest illegal immigrants. So now we're able to take control of this island, shut it down, clear the area, set up infrastructure, and it's gonna shift that activity to what we're seeing in Mexico as far as with these Mexican drug cartels.
Good. If it makes it more difficult for the cartels, I'm all for it. Maybe I'll come down LT and join you guys.
Here's another video from
Texas is holding the line with multiple layers of defense with concertina wire, shipping containers, boots on the ground, and now with the first ever Texas Marine Barrier. The state of Texas will continue to take unprecedented action in the absence of the federal government to secure our border.
Our role here is to provide command presence. We've been very successful as far as slowing down the amount of people that have been trying to cross over into the United States. Just our, presence alone has helped a lot, and we've successfully, like I said, have been able to, slow down those numbers.
Our ultimate goal is keeping our border safe and keeping the wrong people out. And today we're out here installing concertina wire to mitigate the traffic of personnel coming across the southern border. We have our guys working behind me right now, working hard, making sure they're being taken care of and accomplishing the mission at the same time.
The efforts are getting better. Like I said, the numbers are reducing, so it shows the progress in our operation. A lot of criminals will use those mass amount of movements to conceal themselves, so there's a lot of child trafficking, drug carriers, coyotes, weapons and drugs.
We've been thankful that Governor Abbott has put forth a lot of strategies that we haven't seen in the past to try to deter some of these border crossings and this border traffic that we've not seen before. As much as it's a hard effort and it sometimes seems like there's no end, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's been a lot of good teamwork from many different agencies. It is great to see that teamwork coming together and actually being effective.
Now we can take a look at some of the numbers from Operation Lone Star. 447,800 illegal immigrant apprehensions, 34,000 criminal arrests, 31,000 felony charges reported, and 428 million lethal doses of fentanyl have been seized during this operation. As you can see here, I've talked about this in the past. Of all the people that have been sent to these sanctuary cities, taking the strain off of some of these small Texas communities and dropping them off in sanctuary cities where they can handle them since they want them. But I just want to give both sides here. I don't know I'm not Governor Abbott. I don't know everything that he can and can't do, or if he's doing everything he can he do more? I don't know. So I want to show you the numbers and what I see. And yes, people are still coming across the border, but how much worse would it be without the efforts of Operation Lone Star and what we're seeing down at the border from Texas? So it's not that he's doing nothing. it's the question of, is he doing enough? We don't know. He's doing something, but I see where Tucker Carlson is coming from. But it's also easy to criticize when you're not in that position. But then it's likely that Governor Abbott could take more bold action. As I think it's Tom Homan said, I think he was over Border Patrol during the Trump administration and previous administrations. I actually saw him in person. He was speaking at a Beth Van Dyne event, her re-election campaign launch. Somebody asked him, is Governor Abbott doing enough at the border? He said, he's doing a pretty good job. He's doing a good job. Could be doing more, but he's doing a good job. So and that's somebody who has a lot of experience down at the border and has been in that role in that environment for a very long time under many administrations. So I don't know. I just want to give you both sides. And Tucker is pretty tough, but we know he can be tough on on people, and he's going to say what he thinks. So let me know what you think. Do you side with Tucker Carlson? Is Tucker Carlson being too harsh? Is he right in what he's saying? Or do you think that Governor Abbott is doing enough? So this is such an important issue. This is why I talk about it often, because it is very important that we secure the border, because it's not good for our country to have unfettered, unchecked illegal immigration. But all right, guys, thanks for listening. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Take care.